Up in class and up in trip for race number 2. Just a small field though going around over the 1650. This is a class 4. Headed by Player that drops into class 4 company. Just his 8th start. The Sylph also drops in class. He's been here before though. Poaching Treasure finished off last season in good form. Happy Rocky, but hit and miss last year. My Blessing won a couple towards the end. Bo Duke will roll forward. Fine With Me comes here off the back of a good season, and City winner with the blinkers off.
Yeah, it's only a smallish field and there's 2 genuine noted front runners, Bo Duke and My Blessing. You'd think they'd roll into their positions quite quickly. Poaching Treasure from gate 2 can be handy. I wouldn't think would contest, so they should sort of get into their order quite quickly running through the first bend. I don't think there'll be any mid-race move either.
No, it looks that way. Here's the Sylph. I'm going to show his 2 gallops so you can see how he's going, because he can play up a lot, this horse, as we know, and Joe Moore is riding him, so you can see that red ribbon in his tail. That shows that he don't stand too close behind his hind quarters. There was a slow piece, and then he sped it up, and this was the 4th, so just the other day, and they sped it up a little bit. So he's coming into this race quite fit. You can see he's been well prepared, and I thought that was just a good way of showing these 2. The other horse here is My Blessing. We're going to show his 2 coming into it as well. He's coming with a new horse, Wish Come True, but My Blessing is the one there, which is 164 against the rail. Just a nice, easy gallop for that. And that was on the 31st of August. And then he sped it up here a little bit with Tommy Berry on. And I thought this was a nice piece as well. You can see he's nice and relaxed as he comes down here with the cheek pieces on. And of course, Tommy's going to take him on race day. So just got a good feel of him. And the last horse we're going to look at is the likely leader in the place, which is Bo Duke. Now, he's the one on the far side in the yellow saddlecloth there, working with Happy Agility. He's higher rated. And I thought it was a nice, easy gallop from him leading into it. And in fact, he was going better than Happy Agility at the end of the gallop. And then he was really allowed to stretch out here. And he had a month off after the off-season. I think it's done him well. A little bit of sweat there, but I wouldn't worry too much about him. He should get an uncontested lead, and I can see an improvement coming from that horse. Yeah,
he'll be leading down the back. Whether we get some fun and games, though, down the back straight, I suppose that's what we've got to try and work out. So we'll start off with Poaching Treasure. Now with Casper Fownes moved towards the end of last season, rattled off a couple of wins. This one over 1,800 metres. This is slightly shorter.
That's right, yeah, this was the second of those wins. He took all that time to win his first one and then got his second one. He then went to Sha Tin and got caught a touch wide, which I was pretty happy about because there was a bit of blonde hair on the line should he have won at Sha Tin. But he's racing well. You can see Bo Duke there stuck on pretty well. So, look, interesting that Umberto's not riding Poaching Treasure. I think that's probably the thing that stands out for me the most. But he is in good form. I'll give him a chance.
He's put 24 pounds on in the off-season, so he's done well as well. And he did have those 2 wins in a row. So he'll get a nice enough run, but I was just worried about that weight increase.
Yeah. Umberto rode him 3 times for 2 wins, but he'll be riding Fine With Me on Wednesday night. Here, locking horns with My Blessing.
Now, this is a horse that's had a few issues. When he first started racing as a Griffin, he looked to be a horse that had some natural ability. He ran a nice 3rd here, and 4 starts earlier, he came from well back to charge home and win over 1,200 metres at the Valley. So he's got a bit of a liking for the Valley. Only had the 3 starts there. He's been able to win once and run 3rd. So Umberto rode him in his most recent trial. I thought he closed off quite nicely on the 25th of August, and where Umberto goes is where I go.
Yeah, I've got him in the numbers. I think he can run okay. Should get a nice slot in the 1-1 there. I think the speed map is pretty basic, this one. It's just whether there's mid-race moves, but I don't know who would do it, so I'm suggesting he might not.
I reckon from 6 he can probably get the 1-1.
Yeah.
So that gives him a good chance.
All right, Casper Fownes has got 2 of the 8 runners, the other one being Play It, just having his 8th start. Recent trial, and they were pretty positive on him, I suppose. Yeah,
no, he's downgraded, which is always a positive. He got barrier 1 as well, and Zach Purton aboard. That's eye-catching. He's another one that's put on weight. He's put on another 25 pounds. So, look, I did leave him out in the end, but I'll take a lead on what Jenny says from the paddock with him.
The top 2 both get the drop in class for the first time, or the Sylph's actually been here 15 times, and this is where he's won his race, but the Play It drops here for the first time. You look at the horses they've been running against recently, they're of a higher ilk. They've got to carry more weight. I think potentially it's a touch short for Play It. The Sylph, the distance is probably right, but the lack of pace might go against him. Yeah, but he is in an easier contest.
That's the question, but you can tell he's quite forward. He showed you those 2 gallops, and he's had this trial as well. You know, he beats himself a lot of times, the Sylph. So it just depends if he turns up at Happy Valley to play on Wednesday night.
The one time he's won, it's had a certain Joe Moore on board. Joe rides him, and that was Lucky Dollar winning that trial as well. We'll see in a much better race later on in the night. So 8 runners, How do you line them up?
Yeah, I snuck himself in for second, but I'm going to go with this Bo Duke. I just reckon that the month off he had has been really beneficial to him, and he looks like he's back. And if he just gets left alone in front, he's a real hard horse to get past. He's going to be a good price. He'll be double figures. So I'm going to put him on top to beat the Sylph. The Sylph will be getting back and running on, as we know. My Blessing, now he's dropped 14 pounds in the off-season, and you can see he's quite forward, and Fine With Me, another one that will get back, and, well, we did say probably the 1-1, and he'll be closing off late. But if I'm playing this race, well, I'll be playing each way on Bo Duke at 12 and 420.
Fair enough too, Paul. I'm going to go with an each-way selection here too. I think Fine With Me might be the way to go. He is a horse that's had a few issues. Birdo rode him in the recent trial, has done a fair bit of prep, and I would have thought, you know, sticking with Poaching Treasure would have been an option. So the little switch there gives me a little bit of confidence the 7's ready to run well. Got the 3 in for second. And then the top 2, the Sylph and Play It, just want to keep them safe. But on an each-way basis for me, number 7.
Yeah, same trio as you in fact, Brett. But yeah, I think Umberto might have pulled the right rein there. We will find out though in due course.